Hello, John.
Hello, Oliver.
So today I was in Dublin City. I don't go into Dublin City very often because it's a dangerous city now. If you remember before, I was attacked in the city a couple of months back
That's right, yeah.
last year. But anyway,
Yeah, and the Main Street.
yeah. So anyway, today I was in Parnell Square. I was on the Rotunda side, Parnell Street, I think it's called. And I had done the whole. I was on business there, and I walked the whole length of the street. And what struck me was the strong smell of hash drugs. And now the thing about that street is they've built it up really, really nicely. It used to be like there used to be the Ilax Centre, which is still there, but it used to have this huge car park in front of it in the 1980s. That's all built up now into five and six and seven-story apartments, and families are living in there. Lots of children around the place, and they're
Lovely.
smelling drugs every
Yeah.
day of the week.
And that's very dangerous.
Yes.
That's liable to lead to a drug addiction. Drugs are a curse in some ways, and the people that use them, their lives are often pretty short because they wound up dying from drug overdoses. So it's not generally publicised as much as it should be. Hospitals would be well aware of it because I think anybody that sometimes has the misfortune in Dublin to go to a national emergency unit, often there's these drug addicts and out of their mind and causing mayhem in some ways. And so these are the factors that are affecting, and it behoves the authorities, the police particularly, to examine and find out where this is coming from and what kind of people in that area are using it. Because I see people from various jurisdictions in Parnell Square standing in doorways and God knows what, from all over the globe, if you like. And they haven't got the culture. They have come from cultures that have no respect, if you like, for young people or for others. They come from what I call dangerous countries where life is cheap and can be snuffed out. So these are the type of people that we have coming here, and they're kind of doing nothing. They're around the street, and so it behoves the authorities to get up after behind and go and check all these things out, because if you experience that, people living or working in the general area obviously are subjected to it every day,
But I'd be more
and you wouldn't
concerned.
like to be.
I'm more
Yeah,
concerned about the children in the area because there's lots of children in that
correct.
area and they live in the apartments overhead. So they when they open their window, they get the smell of hash coming in their window. And they have, when they're going to
Correct.
school, when they're in the morning, when they're coming home in the afternoon, the smell was on both sides of the street. I crossed over to Tesco's to get something in Tesco's, and Tesco's, and
Yes.
there's a bank link outside Tesco's. The smell there, it's on both sides of the street. There's hash all over Parnell Street, and it's just unbelievable. So I thought about it. How do you solve the problem? The answer is we were talking about safety on a Collins Street. We're saying more Gardaí, but here's the answer. I think not only do you need Gardaí on the street, but you need these sniffer dogs for drugs to seek out who are these people who are carrying drugs on themselves, okay, and remove them from the street. And the dog will do that.
Correct. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head there. Sniffer dogs. They use them often at ports. I've seen them in Rosslare Harbour whenever I was travelling with my late wife coming back from the continent. And there'd be the police would be have sniffer dogs and smelling certain. They picked out certain type of vehicles and people.
Hmm.
I noticed that like it wasn't like the like of me and other people that they nearly could if they could nearly point at the people that liable to have it, and they often found quantities of drugs in that operation. I presume it's still going on because it's a very busy port down there, and of course Dublin as well. So there's this danger, and we have a big influx of people from other jurisdictions, far more than what's established. Some people estimate that we actually have up to 7 million here, far more than officially acknowledged. Now, why they don't have an accurate picture of the number of people here, I mean, that's their duty, isn't it? So when you have that many people in it from different backgrounds, where perhaps drug abuse is rampant in some of these countries. There's a lot of countries in the world we don't know much about. I don't know nothing about half of them whatsoever, except to know a bit about Britain and perhaps people from France, ordinary French people, but not people that are supposed to be France, but from other jurisdictions and with other come from other countries, because France had conquered other countries the same as other countries conquered. We didn't conquer any country, so we shouldn't have this influx of people coming from all jurisdictions, and even coming from Britain through the six counties where Britain has they're there, and they cause that area, six counties, cause more trouble in this country than far more than was reasonable to expect. Don't forget the troubles and the murders and all the rest of it that happened in the six counties and happened in Dublin. So you've all this sort of a background of chaos, and here now we have the drugs. And we hear about drugs in the deprived areas in Dublin, but here you have them in kind of what used to be good business areas. And that's not right. People are going to school and living in apartments and so on and so forth. They should be able to live in peace and harmony there, shouldn't they? That's their
Absolutely.
entitlement.
And I think like, the smell was so strong that I can still smell it. It's a disgusting smell. It's really the smell
Aye,
of
you
hash is
wouldn't like to be
horrible.
working there and imbibing that every day. You could become damn near a drug addict by imbibing it
So
in the air.
I went to the dentist anyway, a Lithuanian lady, and she said to me, she says, "What is your government doing? You're an Irish person," she says, "okay." And I said, "What do you mean?" We started talking about, the streets. I was telling her, Jesus, the smell of hash outside is just incredible. And she said to me,
Yeah.
"What is your government doing?" She says, "Look outside the street." She says, "Look at all the people that shouldn't be here." She says, "I came to Ireland," she says, 20 years ago. I got two houses now. She says, "Okay." And she says, the amount of people who come into the surgery on medical cards, they're all foreign, she says, and they're just leeching off. And I pay the taxes for these people, and your government is doing nothing about this. They're bringing in wasters into
Well,
the
there
country.
you are, you see. So you heard it from a source that has benefited by their in this country and has contributed to the welfare, and now they see what is happening, and these people that come from other with medical cards. I mean, you had to work and in this country to get one. I have one because of the age. You get one when you're over 70, and so it's one of the perks in that. But now they're dishing them out to these people. So then they're availing of all the things that other people of their age has to pay for, and pay the doctors when they visit the surgery, and pay for tablets through the nose because they're very dear. And I have a cousin that has to pay quite a bit for that kind of thing, and so it doesn't seem right. It's not right. People that come when you go to other countries, they don't dish out these things just willy nilly. You would have to be a citizen of that country, and you would have to. As a matter of fact, if you go to France and you're not from that country and you're on the state benefits for 3 months, you're toughed out.
This is the
you,
thing,
you,
So
you can't be a burden. So
um,
here we are here, a poor country that most of our people had to emigrate in the 50s and 60s, 2 million, and all those that had to emigrate during the famine to save their lives from starvation. And here now we have all these ones coming in with God knows what sort of social problems.
this
And
is the
then
thing.
getting medical cards. It's not right because I see it myself when I'm walking, even in like in Navan and these places. Most of the people I come across from other jurisdictions, and they have as much interest in this country as the man in the moon. They have no interest. They don't mix with any Irish people. They don't show any interest in the country, learning about the culture or that. You know what I'm saying? They're mixing with themselves,
Well, now I have to say
and
that
they're a bit of a
I did visit a
yeah.
few businesses on the street, and the businesses are run by foreign people, and they're run very well, and they're very friendly, and they provide a good service. I called into 3 or 4 businesses there, including the dentist. Foreign people running those businesses, they're running very good businesses. So I've no gripe with those. What I have gripes with is people hanging around that are dealing drugs and openly smoking hash, and the stink of the street is just incredible.
Well, it must be awful, yes, but it is awful, and it behoves the crowd that's supposed to be running the country. We see the problems that are occurring in the streets. We see the sort of disarray. Gary Hutch, that we did a video about when he was going for the doll, he knows the problems because he come from that background where there was problems, and
Gerard
he's
Hutch. Gerard Hutch.
Jared Hutch, yeah,
Yeah.
Jared Hutch, yeah. What do they call him?
Garrett.
Hutch. So, like he would have been an asset to sort of be able to highlight these things. But the ones that's elected doesn't highlight at them. They have an agenda, and it's a kind of a lefty agenda that doesn't do anything for anybody. They're living in the cuckoo land. They destroy the country if they could. I don't know why people vote for them, to be honest about it. You want people to do something about these problems, and Gary Hutch would have been the one to do something about it.
Jerry
I
Hutch.
said, Jerry Hutch. Jerry Hutch, he would have been able to do something about it. It's people like him that you need in the Dáil that knows firsthand the problems,
That's it.
and they would deal with it.
I
But
think, look,
what's this crowd?
what
Yeah,
it is basically is it's what I think is the serious issue here is that it's a child welfare issue. Because if little kids are going to school, there was a little child on the street and he was playing with a dog while I was on the street. And the smell of hash around the little child, he's about 5 years of age. And I thought, if he's here for another
uh,
couple of years, he'll actually become an addict without realizing it. Passive
exactly.
addiction, you
Yeah.
know? So
Well,
it's
I
a,
mean, the authorities should know about these things. And Jerry Hutch spoke about the lack of looking after the area that he was from, and the Sheriff Street in that area. So, I mean, they'd want to get up off their behinds and start dealing with these issues. I mean, what are they governed for if they're not doing what's required to be done, kind of thing. So I agree with you 100%. Thank God I don't be in Dublin at all, quite frankly, and I wouldn't like to be experiencing what you experienced as you went on a business appointment in that area.
I just thought,
So let's hope.
I thought they done great work on one side of the street, and they built up the apartments there. But I think they're about 7 stories high. They're very, very tall, and they built nice
Yeah,
hotels there,
lovely.
and they made big improvements to the street. But
They
unfortunately,
did
for whatever
physical
reason,
improvements.
I have never ever come across a street in Dublin where there's such a powerful smell of drugs. I mean, Talbot Street. You can go down Talbot Street. I've never actually smelled hash on Talbot Street. You can go on
Yeah,
O'Connell Street and you might get it at the odd time. And if you go down the Quays, you're going to get loads of it, right? But Parnell Street, the side over at the Rotunda, is
yeah.
absolutely, the stink is just, oh, mother of God, it's just
Well,
unreal.
no, that should be that. But I'm glad you highlighted it, and I hope some result comes from it, Oliver.
So there we go. Thank you very much, John.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Oliver. Bye now.